What we have today is obviously a DeLorean door here, and this is the factory tool that we have that we use for testing a door when we actually assemble a door, if we're doing a replacement or we're doing a build, which allows us to test the window mechanism, the mirror mechanism, the door lock mechanism. Whilst we have it like this, I thought it would be a good opportunity to give people an idea of what it looks like inside the door panel, because it's such a busy area of the car. Once you take off the panels, you'll see here this is a plastic membrane. The membrane is attached with adhesive to the door, and it's a very important vapor barrier that when the door is all together and this is actually sealed on the door, there is always a lot of water running through the door because it's not completely sealed from around the drop glass area. So water will run through and eventually it will run out the drain holes in the bottom of the door. So if you do take a door apart and the membrane is compromised or is not there, it's very important to make sure that you put it in place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually remove the membrane, so as that way we can give you a better look inside, and then I'm just going to run through some of the various mechanisms that are inside here so as to give you an idea of how they operate. So now we have the membrane removed, and I'm just going to point out some of the major components in here so as to give you an idea. This here is the door lock solenoid. This here is the electrical part of the door lock for the bell crank. There's a mechanical bell crank here, which is also part of the pivot mechanism, which we'll talk about later. This is the power window lift motor, and then these rods here and here are the rods that go for the front latch, and then these rods here and here are the rods that go for the rear latch, which are all synchronized by the adjustment procedure that you have to follow. If you look, and you can see now here, as I operate the inside lock rod, you can see it's moving from the solenoid, and you can see it's moving the lock rods to both of the latches. Then if I pull up on here, you can see it's moving here, it's moving this latch rod, and it's moving this latch rod, which are the latch rods which will open and obviously to open and close the door. Just to give you an idea of how this works, we obviously can control the mirrors, we can control the door lock system, and we can also test the power windows. So if we start off, obviously, just to do the power window, you can see where the window is. You know, we can actually move the window mechanism up and down so we can see what is actually happening as a result of the electrical connections. Same with the mirrors, you know, we can see that the mirror is going up and down, left and right. And then also for the door lock system, we can operate and the locking solenoid and the unlock solenoid, and check out the electrical and the mechanical side to make sure that they're all functioning correctly. Some of the simple things that are quite do-it-yourselfable that you can fix yourself anyway is so when you take the window up and down, it's not uncommon to see this little trim here where it's coming away like this. It's quite a simple piece to replace. So essentially, with the upper door panel off, you can see here that there are a row of Phillips head screws, and basically you remove the screws so as you have this panel off the car, and then the piece that goes in is just a replacement. And if you look here, it's just a U-channel that slides onto the metal retainer. It's a little bit longer, so if you look here, you can see that it needs to be trimmed off. So basically, once you line it up and you put it into place, you can trim a little bit off and then reattach this piece in, and then that takes care of this problem. Another piece that's on the doors is, if you look here, you can see this this finishing piece here. Some of the cars came with it from the factory. especially all the later cars. The earlier cars did not have it, and it just, when you put the panels on, it just gives you a nice finish, and it finishes off the look of the car. As the years have gone by, the factory only had it in black, and now we've developed it in grey, so you can order this in grey or black, and it's available on the website, but it just makes a nice little piece to finish off. Other thing that we should talk about is the window regulator itself. We've sort of showed you with the window regulator how it flexes, and also the way the mechanism goes up and down. As that mechanism goes up and down, that tube can also expand, which can give you a problem. When you replace the window regulator to the newer style regulator, you can see the actual arm from the motor is all metal. So that flex piece of plastic that tends to crack and break is eliminated. Plus also the actual tube itself, which this is the piece that carries the glass to go up and down from here to here, is this range of movement. The actual gauge of the tube has been increased, so it's not so flexible, and basically once you replace the window mechanism and you put in the replacement, you do it once and you never do it again. So now we'll transition to the door locks and the electrical side of the door locks. In each door you have a solenoid and you have an actuator switch, and basically if you look and you watch me move this, you can see the switch moves with the mechanism. And basically what this switch does, which is the same as what I have in my hand here, is as it moves, it's a slave and it follows the system. And it's a switch, and it basically sends a signal to the control unit which will operate the opposite side solenoid. If you look at this piece here, it has a pivot in the middle, and as these tend to wear and time goes on, that you can get wear and tear where there'll be extra movement and you will lose contact. And this can give you intermittent door lock problems. Also, if these if the rods become out of adjustment for this, you can have it where it sort of sits between the contacts, and that can give you that symptom where you'll sit in the car and you'll see that the lock button here will start twittering, just basically jumping from one side to the other. One of the possible symptoms is that the rods here are out of adjustment, or there is wear in the actual bell crank mechanism itself, which in a future video we'll go into that in more detail, but this just gives you an overview of what's going on inside the door panel.